All right, guys, welcome back to the Male Playbook.
The show that helps you navigate the real world.
No sugarcoating.
No BS. And today,
We're tackling something huge.
jumping that can genuinely change your life.
Awakening.
Human Matrix.
That whole scene.
That's the vibe we're going for here. Ditching the illusions and seeing reality for what it truly is.
Exactly.
And look,
Let's be real.
this isn't some walk in the park, guys.
This awakening thing,
It can be brutal.
it can shake you to your core.
It's not about feeling good,
It's about understanding the world.
particularly when it comes to dating and relationships.
And honestly,
That's where a lot of us get tripped up, right?
yeah.
But the thing is,
Awakening.
it rarely happens when life's all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
It often takes a real kick in the teeth to get things moving.
You don't question the system when everything's going your way.
Exactly.
It's like you need
A serious dose of suffering.
like a real pain.
The kind that forces you to confront your deepest beliefs.
We're talking relationship breakdowns.
Betrayal.
Those moments that just knock you flat on your ass.
It's like getting hit by a truck.
That you didn't even see coming.
Cracks open your whole reality.
Remember Edgar Tolle?
That spiritual teacher.
Yeah, he had a pretty intense awakening story, right?
Oh, yeah. He hit rock bottom. Said something like,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to reach a limit before the ego cracks open.
Powerful stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So when that suffering hits,
When that truck slams into you,
what then?
you got to analyze the situation.
Figure out what the hell just happened.
And this is crucial.
You can't do that with incomplete information.
Right.
Otherwise, you end up chasing your tail.
Drawing the wrong conclusions.
Think about it like those,
Like those shit tests women throw at us.
oh man, don't even get me started on those.
They make you question everything.
Your assumptions.
Your beliefs.
The whole damn game.
But you know what?
What?
We need to be testing our hypotheses too.
Not just
Accepting things at face value. Right.
We need to think critically and gather the facts before we react.
Don't just operate on autopilot.
That's how you end up in the same mess over and over again.
Exactly.
And that's where you reach a crossroads.
Denial or acceptance?
Two very different paths.
Denial.
That's the blue pill man.
It's comforting. You cling to those illusions even when they're falling apart around you.
It's your mind's way of protecting itself from the pain of truth.
It's repression.
You know,
Blaming a bad relationship on the wrong woman.
never looking at your own role in the whole disaster.
Or you keep getting hurt by someone close to you.
And you just keep rationalizing their behavior.
They didn't mean it.
They're just stressed.
Classic denial.
And honestly, we see this all the time, right?
People, especially women, can be masters at this.
Blocking out anything that challenges their worldview.
You say something that contradicts their narrative.
And it's like talking to a brick wall.
Silence.
Just pure denial.
It's fascinating. Almost like a defense mechanism to avoid facing uncomfortable truths.
So denial is the easy way out.
It's a comfortable lie.
What about acceptance?
So the red pill.
Facing reality head on, no matter how brutal it is.
It's choosing to see the world as it is.
Not how you wish it was.
And let me tell you, it's not always pretty, but it's the only path to real growth.
It takes guts to choose that path.
It means challenging those cozy beliefs.
Even when it hurts like hell.
And honestly, in today's world, with all the distractions, the information overload.
It's tougher than ever to really think deeply and face those hard truths.
Think about it. Let's say a friend screws you over big time.
Accepting that situation is painful.
But it's the only way to move on.
And ultimately, it's more beneficial.
Denial might offer temporary comfort, but acceptance leads to growth.
It forces you to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've talked about the pain, the denial.
The whole red pill, blue pill thing.
What about the rewards of this awakening?
What happens when you choose to see the world for what it really is?
What changes?
That's where things get really interesting. You start to suffer less.
Stop torturing yourself.
With the what ifs and regrets.
You break free from those cycles of pain. You're not constantly replaying the same old scenarios in your head.
Beating yourself up for past mistakes.
And you start to learn from your experiences.
You develop a deeper understanding of yourself.
Of the world.
It's like, remember when you were a kid learning to ride a bike?
You didn't need to understand the physics of gravity to know that falling hurt.
Yeah, you just knew.
You just knew you had to keep pedaling.
And try not to eat pavement.
Exactly. With awareness comes choice. You're no longer controlled by those subconscious patterns.
Those knee-jerk reactions.
You can make conscious decisions.
You're not just reacting to everything.
You're in the driver's seat.
That's what this whole male playbook idea is about.
Awakening empowers you to take control of your life and create the future you want.
So it's not just about understanding the game.
It's about mastering it.
Right. And let's be clear.
When we say the game, we're not talking about those cheesy pickup artist routines.
No one wants to be that guy.
Nobody.
It's about understanding the real dynamics between men and women.
Like the biological and evolutionary forces that shape our interactions.
So like nature's kind of rigged the game from the start?
In a way, yes, but that doesn't mean we can't play it smart.
Right.
Okay, so what does that look like?
In the real world.
What does that look like?
Like for starters, it means avoiding common pitfalls. Like a lot of guys try to logic their way into a woman's heart.
In there, done, that doesn't work.
Because women aren't making decisions based on logic alone.
No, they're influenced by
Emotions, intuition, subconscious factors.
That's like they're operating on a whole different wavelength.
Exactly.
So we have to understand what they're really looking for.
Mm.
And so what is it then?
What do women want?
What do they want?
They want a man who is confident,
Assertive,
decisive, someone who can lead, who can protect, who can make them feel safe and secure.
sounds a lot like those alpha male stereotypes.
There's some truth to those stereotypes. It's more nuanced than that. It's not about being aggressive or domineering.
Okay.
It's about being a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it.
So it's about having a strong sense of self.
Exactly, and that's where the real work begins, because to become that kind of man...
You have to first understand yourself. You have to know your strengths, your weaknesses, your values.
It's like that old saying, know thyself.
Know thyself.
Precisely, and that's a journey in itself.
It takes introspection. It takes honesty.
It takes a willingness to face your own shadow.
The shadow, that sounds kind of intense.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is that?
It's the part of ourselves that we hide, the part we're ashamed of, the part we don't want to acknowledge.
Our dark side, so to speak.
Mm.
So why would we want to face all that darkness? Seems kind of masochistic.
Because by facing our shadow,
Mhm.
we integrate it, we bring it into the light, and when we do that,
We become whole.
we become more powerful
So it's like confronting those demons.
and turning them into allies.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all of this ties together. Awakening, self-awareness, understanding the game.
It's all connected.
It is.
It's all part of the journey of becoming a man, a fully realized man.
So let's talk about the practical stuff. How do we actually put all this into practice in our daily lives?
Well, it starts with small steps.
Like what kind of small steps?
Start paying attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors. Notice the patterns.
Where do you get triggered?
What are your blind spots? What are the things you keep doing that sabotage your own success?
So it's like becoming more self-aware.
More mindful.
Exactly. And once you start seeing those patterns,
You can start making conscious choices.
you start challenging those negative patterns, those limiting beliefs. You start stepping outside of your comfort zone,
It's about taking action.
not just sitting around thinking about it.
Absolutely. Knowledge without action is useless.
So let's say there's a guy out there who's struggling in the dating game.
He's getting rejected. He's frustrated. He's starting to lose hope.
What's the first step he should take?
The first step is to stop blaming himself.
Like rejection.
Rejection is part of the game. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with him.
Right. It's not personal.
It's just part of the process.
Exactly. The next step.
He's to get honest with himself.
What are his strengths?
Mm-mm.
What are his weaknesses? What does he really want in a partner? What are his non-negotiables?
And then
what?
he needs to start working on himself.
Okay.
He needs to develop his confidence, his social skills, his physical fitness.
Yeah.
He needs to become the best version of himself. He needs to level up.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but it's worth it, because when you become the man you're meant to be, the right woman will come into your life.
So it's not about chasing women.
It's about becoming the man they're looking for.
Exactly. And that's the real secret to success.
Not just in dating, but in all areas of life.
I'm starting to get fired up here. This is powerful stuff. But let's be real. This whole awakening thing, it can be overwhelming. Where do you even begin?
One thing you can do is start paying attention to the messages you're receiving from the world around you.
Like the media, your friends, your family?
They're all sending you messages about what it means to be a man.
Yeah, all those societal expectations, is outdated gender roles.
Exactly, and the problem is...
A lot of those messages
are outdated, they're limiting, they're even harmful.
So how do you filter out all that noise?
Yeah.
How do you know what to listen to?
What to ignore.
Yeah.
You start questioning everything.
Like, how do you know?
You ask yourself, does this belief serve me? Is this aligned with my values? Is this helping me become the man I want to be?
It's like taking back control of your own narrative.
Exactly. And that's what awakening is all about. It's about shedding those old limiting beliefs and creating a new story for yourself, a story that is authentic, empowering, and fulfilling.
That's powerful stuff. So where do we go from here? How do we actually start this awakening process?
Well, the path to awakening, it's not some one size fits all kind of deal. It's a journey, and everyone's journey is going to be different. But there are some common threads, some things that a lot of guys experience along the way.
Okay, give us something concrete here. What are some of those common threads? What can guys expect on this journey?
Think of it like this awakening often starts with a trigger, some kind of intense experience that shakes you out of your comfort zone, that forces you to question the way you've been living.
Like we talked about suffering earlier, that definitely qualifies as a trigger.
Yeah, getting blindsided by a breakup, a betrayal, a major failure.
It's like those moments in life that just knock you on your ass.
Exactly. They can be brutal, but they can also be the catalyst for real growth.
It's like they break you open, force you to confront things you've been avoiding.
It's like that saying, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to bounce back.
Okay, so you get hit with this trigger, this wake-up call. What happens next?
Well, often there's a period of introspection. You start questioning everything.
Your beliefs, your values,
Yeah.
your whole way of seeing the world.
Yeah, it can be pretty disorienting.
Like the whole world gets flipped upside down.
You might feel lost, confused, even scared.
It's like stepping off a cliff and not knowing if there's a safety net.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're in that free fall? How do you navigate that uncertainty?
That's where the real work begins.
Oh.
It's about seeking out knowledge, exploring different perspectives, experimenting with new ways of being.
It's about becoming a student of life,
Exactly, and that means being open to new ideas.
even if they challenge your existing beliefs.
It means stepping outside of your comfort
But
zone.
being willing to get uncomfortable.
Yeah,
That's not always easy, man.
is.
It's easy to get stuck in your own ways, to just stick with what you know, even if it's not working.
But the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you realize how much you don't know.
It's humbling, man. It's like
Mhm.
the more you know, the more you realize you're just scratching the surface.
And that humility is essential for awakening.
Because
The moment you think you have it all figured out,
you've stopped learning, you've
Right.
stopped growing. All right, so you're on this path of learning and growth.
yeah.
How do you know if you're making progress? What are some signs that you're actually awakening?
One sign is that you start to see the world differently. You start to notice the interconnectedness of things, the patterns, the underlying causes and effects.
You start to see things that you were blind to before.
It's like you're seeing behind the curtain, right? Peeking behind the matrix.
Then as you see more clearly,
You start to make better choices.
you become more aware of your own thoughts,
Mhm.
your emotions, your behaviors.
You become more intentional in your actions.
You're not just reacting to everything anymore. You're responding with awareness and purpose.
Precisely. And that brings a sense of peace, a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment. It's like things start to click into place.
Like, that sounds pretty damn good. But
Mhm.
let's be real. This whole awakening thing, it's not a one-time event, right? It's not like you flip a switch and you're suddenly enlightened.
No.
It's an ongoing process.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination.
There will be ups and downs, breakthroughs and setbacks. You'll have moments of clarity and moments of confusion.
The key is to just keep moving forward.
So how do you stay on track? How do you keep pushing forward even when it gets tough?
One thing that can help is having a strong support system.
Surround yourself with people who are also on a path of growth.
Yeah.
People who will challenge you, support you, and inspire you, people who get it.
Exactly. Find your tribe, your people, your wingmen. And remember, it's okay to ask for help along the way,
You don't have to do it alone.
right? There are teachers, mentors, therapists who can guide you on your journey.
All right, so if someone's listening to this right now and they're thinking, man, I want this, I want to awaken, I want to break free from the matrix, what's the first step they should take?
The first step is simple, but it's not always easy. It's about becoming aware.
Yeah.
Start paying attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors. Notice where you're getting stuck, where you're holding yourself back.
Become aware of the patterns, the programs that are running your life.
Exactly. And once you're aware of those patterns, you can start to change them.
It all starts with awareness.
It does. And from there, the possibilities are endless.
Man, this has been a powerful conversation. I feel like I've learned a lot today. Thanks for dropping some serious wisdom on us.
My pleasure, man. Always happy to share what I've learned along the way.
And to all you guys out there listening, remember, awakening is a choice.
It's a choice to see the world as it truly is.
To face your fears, to step into your power as a man, so choose wisely, choose the red pill.
And keep playing the game, but play it on your own terms.
That's it for this episode of the Male Playbook. Until next time, keep it real, keep pushing forward, and keep those eyes open.